Now if you go and search what is TypeScript, then you will get lots of results. TypeScript is this and TypeScript is that, and even the code suggestions that we are getting inside VS Code, all of these things are because of TypeScript. But if you have no understanding of statically typed and dynamically typed programming languages, or JavaScript is your very first programming language, then it's a no surprise that you don't exactly know what TypeScript is. So first, let's try to understand what exactly TypeScript is. If we visit the official website typescriptlang.org, then it says TypeScript is JavaScript with a syntax for types. TypeScript is a strongly typed programming language that builds on JavaScript, giving you better tooling at any scale. The main thing we need to focus on this line is that TypeScript is JavaScript. And what does it mean? It means just a single thing. JavaScript doesn't care about types, but TypeScript is JavaScript which cares about the types. Now, what are the types? First, let's try to understand the difference between the statically typed and the dynamically typed programming languages. Okay. Now, languages like Java, C++, and C# are statically typed languages. In these languages, whenever we want to create a variable, we have to specifically declare their types. And the compiler of these languages performs some checks on the code that we have written before it runs the code. It checks if we are using the correct type for the variables and assigning the correct value to those variables. Otherwise, the compiler will throw appropriate error or show us the warning so that we can write performant and the bug-free code. But dynamically typed languages like JavaScript don't care about types at all. We can create variables with any data types without defining their types, and we can reassign the new types of value as their data at any point of time. And it's not like JavaScript doesn't care about the types at all, but it checks them dynamically. Means whenever we want to run our code, it will check the types and throw a big nasty error at the runtime or while we are running our code. But you may wonder, like, what is the problem, right? JavaScript is made like this, and we know that JavaScript doesn't care about types, and whoever cares about the types can use the statically typed languages, right? If you think so, then you will change your thinking after this video. And for that, we have to first understand why we want this TypeScript in the first place. The bug inside our code or inside our final project doesn't always come with some big blast, right? Most of the time, our code behaves weirdly because of our silly mistakes. And if we are using JavaScript, then there is a very big room available for those silly errors. And let me show you that with an example. Now here I have this code. This is a JavaScript file and this is a JS extension for React, and this is the code, and most of the time I failed here. Here we have this input field and the type of this input field is file, and here we are using this handle change method and handling the onChange event. And inside here you can see I'm trying to extract the file from inside this event.target, and here if we hover over on this, then here you can see the file type is any, and here I have this comment uploading file to the server, but here what I'm doing, I'm just logging it to the console. But the main thing here is whenever I hover over on this console log this file, here it says the file is any, and here you can read any is a dangerous type. Okay, any type is the dangerous type, and we'll talk about this in our later videos. But why the type of this file is any? And that is because here you can see the type of this parameter event is any, and the target that we are getting from inside this event, this is any, and the files that we are getting from inside here inside this event.target, this is also any. But inside this code we have a little problem, and our JavaScript will not tell us what exactly is the problem. And the problem is whenever we want to upload our file to the server, we have to get this files, and this is a file list, and from inside this file list we have to grab the very first value like this. Now this will be our file, but if I hover on this, you can see the file type is still any. But now I'm going to remove these things from here, and now I have the same exact code inside here, and this is our TypeScript file. But if you notice, the color of this file name is red, and that is because here inside this code we have a little problem, and the problem is inside this handle change. Okay, everything is same like here, we are using everything like same here, but the main thing here is whenever we are using this handle change, what we are doing, we have the type for this event, and if you hover on this event, then you can see this is the react.change event, which is coming from inside this HTML input element. And now if I go with this e dot, then you can see I have this target, and if I hover over on this, you can see the type of this target. Okay, but the main thing here is we have this file, and we have declared the type for this file, and the type for this file is file. Okay, but here if you notice, we have this a little problem, and if I hover over on this, it says type file list is missing the following property from type file. Means this is not a file. If this was the file, then it must have all these things and 5 more items inside this file, and that is because currently this is file list. If you hover over on this, it will tell you that this is a file list. Okay, now if I use that same code here, then the error will be gone. So that's what TypeScript is. This is all JavaScript, but here we can define the type of these variables and the function and the return type that this function is going to return, and this TypeScript will perform all the validation and checks for these types, and everything is fine. Only then we can run our code. We can run our code, we will see that in our later videos, but it will give you the instant feedback that you are writing some bad code. You have this code, if you use this code, you will be in trouble because there will be no file, and you will be freak out, like you will not get any feedback inside this line number 6. But you have a little problem here because this is not the file that you want, and if you try to upload this to your server, then you will not get any file inside the server, and you will say I have everything fine, but why I'm not getting this file in my backend server. And that is because you forgot this line of code. But inside TypeScript, if you forgot these, or if you do these kind of silly mistakes, it will tell you about all these things. And the main thing is, like I already told you, all of these things are JavaScript, but here we have these types, and TypeScript will check our code before even we try to run our code. And that's exact thing that has been written inside the official docs. TypeScript is JavaScript with syntax for types. So if you already know JavaScript, you can easily learn and write TypeScript. TypeScript is awesome when it comes to writing large application, and the great thing is TypeScript runs wherever JavaScript runs. So that's the TypeScript, where we can write JavaScript with types, or you can think that TypeScript as the tool which helps us to write safer and bug-free JavaScript code, and at the end our TypeScript will convert all of those code to JavaScript. And don't be confused with the last line I just said, because I'll show you that in the later videos. In the next video we will see how we can set up an environment for TypeScript.